there a point of concern here, or are we just splitting hairs?
Trevor, good morning, and good morning, Mark and Bishop Rotich. Indeed, it's a good day. Trevor, and good morning, viewers. Trevor, one of the things that we suffer in this country is trust deficit. We have a serious trust deficit in this country, and that's the reason why we have one of the most expensive elections in the world. And even the fact that we have thrown money to try and medicate on the trust deficit, we have not gone to the great monarch of heaven and ask God to change our hearts that we may be able to trust each other and at the end of the day deploy integrity in every area, especially in the area of governance and many other areas. So essentially what happens when IBC does something, we then consult on or lean on the understanding of the trust deficit. And the first thing we do is we accuse them in the salons, we accuse them in the barber shop, we accuse them in the buses, and then we come to the media and say, look at this guy, look, you know, I thought he was going to wear a blue cap, you know, now he's wearing yellow, you know, he's supposed to wear white. And then after that, then we go and talk to IBC, and then we're like, oh, you should have said. So this is it, you know. And also, given the fact that we have trust deficit, then as a nation, we don't work as a united force to be able then to acquire the gains of democracy and advance democracy and advance what it is that we call the common good. Now, what IBC is trying to medicate is a technical incapacity that comes with the nature of our elections and the issue of funding. Why am I saying this? The reason why they had to print additional Form 34As is because, for example, polling stations, you know, they have to give copies and Form 34As to many of the agents and all that. And what they've figured on is that they may not necessarily spend additionally on original forms. So when they give you that copy that they've printed as additional, they will indicate that they have given agent A and agent B this kind of form, and it will be entered in what we call the polling station diary. The PSD is what now, according to the regulations that were advanced in the 2017 judgment, where all other incidents or issues of visitors or officials or any other happenings that happen in the polling stations are entered, and that diary is what is adduced in court. So anything that happens, whether it's a correct thing or incorrect thing, is entered into that diary. Now, when you look at, and I believe possibly they've printed those additional forms that necessarily don't have the security features and all that. Now, that thinking is a thinking that came within, you know, the regulatory framework of IBC. And perhaps they were figuring, how then do we do this? How do we medicate the fact that, you know, we need to do additional Form 34s? And they printed the original forms, they printed 100% based on the number, the exact number of the voters in this country. They did not do an additional 1%. They did not do an additional 2%. And therefore, because that paper is more expensive than this other one that they printed,
yeah.
And therefore, they saw for us to be able then to spend less, let's print another paper. Now, we know that there's nothing like 100% turnout. So also, there's the other question of spoiled votes. You understand? So in polling station A, if I come into a polling station A and the voter has spoiled the vote by law, the law then allows the presiding officer to give the voter 2 votes. That is also another issue. Will they give these 2 votes or not? But that's up to the agents and the PO to agree, because the law, again, addresses itself to that matter. So this one is a technical issue, or rather a regulatory that they brought into play to be able to medicate an issue. Unfortunately, IBC have this habit of thinking in private and executing in public. So you see the execution in public, and because of our trust deficit, we are like, what is it? You know, I hope you're not trying to lie again.
Yeah.
You know, I hope you're not trying to do this matter again. But again, at the end of the day, even based on the precedences that we have had before, the issue in 2017 was an incapacity that IBC was introduced by a third party. That's the issue of networks, as you're well aware. How are they going to medicate that issue? Now, they are saying that to prevent the KIEMS kit from transmitting outside of the polling station, if it does not transmit in the polling station, we will switch off the kit until we get to the constituency tallying center, where the kit will be switched on and the agents are going to be involved and the confirmation message is going to come in. So I don't think this is an issue that we need to start accusing IBC. I think what we need to do is to encourage IBC to be dialogue-centric more, to encourage the parties to be dialogue-centric more, and to stop playing out many of these issues essentially in public when we have not consulted this referee that we're supposed to be in a relationship with and understand why this decision was taken. Because again, it's within the preview and within the jurisdiction of IBC to do many of these things.